Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special tribute episode of 100 Yards of Football. Today, myself and Jay McLovin, we're going to be talking about the life and the coaching career of Bobby Bowden, the longtime Florida State Seminole head coach who unfortunately passed away last week on August the 8th at the age of 91. So we have a lot to say about Coach Bowden. You know, we have our guy Bobby Butler, who played under Coach Bowden in the late 70s. So we're going to touch on that as well. But, of course, we want to pay our respects to Coach Bowden's family and his friends and loved ones, because this is a pillar when you look at in terms of tremendous coaches, not just even in college football, but just football in general. You have to have Coach Bowden up there at least near the top of your list, if not number one. You could make an argument for that. But just what he was able to bring to the game of football is really unmatched, and I'm happy we get to celebrate his life and talk about all of his amazing accomplishments here today. But how you doing, sir? How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing well. Yeah, absolutely. It's good to be here. It's good to talk about Mr. Bobby Bowden. Like you said, he's a pillar of the football community. I mean, he resurrected Florida football with Steve Spurrier. So they had great rivalries down there during those times. So just an incredible, great human being, family man. Did a lot of obviously very involved with the church and giving back to the community. Just like you said, just an all-around fantastic gentleman.
Of course. And like we say, if you guys want to check out any other great Florida State content, of course, you go check out our Facebook, YouTube page, check out our podcast. We just had an episode a few weeks ago where our guy Bobby Butler had a bunch of the old recruits on from, I believe, 1979, the first really recruiting class for Coach Bowden. So go check that out. There's a bunch of great guys on there. So go check that out, and you can hear some good stories about the team and about Coach Bowden and just how they were able to rally around him. But, Jay, let's talk about him. Let's talk about Coach Bowden and just what he was able to bring to college football. So his overall head coaching record is tremendous. 377 wins, 129 losses. And I think one of the more important wins, or the important stats, is his bowl record wins, Jay, because it was phenomenal as well. 21, 10, and then he even had a tie. So just to have, 11 games over 500 for your bowl record speaks to just how dominant he was at Florida State. And he coached there for quite a long time, from 1976 until 2009. So definitely the greatest coach in Florida State history, and had a lot of guys go to the NFL, make great careers for themselves. And just the way that he was able to carry himself and carry his teams through tough wins, through tough seasons, because when he got there, let's not forget, it wasn't sunshine and rainbows as soon as he got there. He started to take over for the old recruiting classes, and they struggled a little bit early on. But once he was able to get really his recruits in and the guys that he wanted to place on his team in each position, that's when Florida State became, the dynasty that we know it as today, and how they were so dominant. I mean, this guy has 2 national championships in both 1993 and 1999, 12 ACC championships, including a stretch from 92 all the way until the year 2000. And then he had a few more. He had from 2002, 2003, and then his final one in 2005. So absolutely tremendous. This guy, if you name just coaching records, coaching career, just wins, everything like that, Coach Bowden is up there. And he had a tremendous run as head coach. And even when he left the program after the 2009 season, his final game on January 1st, 2010, in the Gator Bowl, Jay, he went out the best way you can with a win. Got the win against his former program in West Virginia, where he coached there right before he went to Florida State. He coached for West Virginia from 1970 through 1975. He was also the offensive coordinator there for a few seasons as well. So to have a great career, win some national championships, win a bunch of ACC titles, and then for your final game as head coach, you go out on top, you can't have more of a storybook really type of ending. So what do you have to say about Coach Bowden and just his
I actually give him credit for those 12 vacated wins that they took away from us. I got him at 389.
There you go.
129 and 4.
There you go.
People want to, he had 12 wins. They vacated him for probably violence, but I still give him credit for that crap. If he's still a win, damn it, I don't care what they say. But yeah, there's a lot of things that you could talk about Bobby Bowden, right? He's got a lengthy career, 44 years as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
So he's obviously, like you said, he coached at West Virginia, then FSU. There was one other school, Howard. He started at Howard, and then he went to West Virginia, and then he wrapped it up at FSU. So he's had 3 different schools that he's been under. But what I like, there's a lot of things I like. One of the things I like is the fact how when the tragedy hit Marshall, how he went in there and and helped them resurrect that football program. With giving them plays and just different things. He helped them resurrect that program. So yeah, he's done it. Like I said, he's given back a lot. And people don't realize that. Another thing you probably think of is the 1999 Bowden Bowl between him and his son Tommy. People I didn't even really almost forgot about it, but yeah, he coached him. And the thing about it is, he never wanted his sons to go into coaching. He never wanted. He didn't want them coaching against each other, and he didn't want them coaching against him. That's just the way Bobby Bowden was. He just did not want that to happen. Obviously, they didn't listen. They went in there and coached anyway. But yeah, he never really wanted that. That was never really something he wanted. And then he talked to, one of the great quotes from Steve Spurrier when he talks about Bobby Bowden was, he's like, you know what? I don't want to make sure I quote it accurately. He said, we had to play them the last game of the season. I said, how come Tennessee didn't have to play them dudes? So Spurrier always had to play FSU at the last game of the season. He's like, why don't Tennessee have to play them? It was just a really good rivalry between Spurrier and Bowden. They put him in the Hall of Fame. He's the second winningest coach. They put him in the Hall of Fame in 2006. His resume is freaking phenomenal. You can go down the list, right? 2 national titles, 12 ACC conference championships, bowl record of 22-10-1. Hey, how you doing? Sorry, man. I told you I got a zoo here today. Yeah, so it just has, he just has given a lot back to the community, and I tell you, man, I know Nick Saban is obviously considered to be the creme de la creme of coaching. Right. Everybody knows, you think of him, but I think there's a lot of intangibles that go just beyond winning in the game of football, right? The legacy can be more than just about wins. And Bobby Bowden's legacy goes so much further, and it's than just the win column and the loss column. When you look at his coaching career and what he's done and how he's affected athletes' lives.
Right. Yeah, just he was able to affect a lot of. He coached for a long time, Jay. Like you said, his sons got into coaching as well. Even when you said that he didn't even want his sons to get into coaching. Well, they did anyways, and they did a pretty bang-up job as well coaching at both Clemson and Auburn, so 2 also prestigious schools. So just the whole Bowden legacy with his family and his coaching career just extends beyond belief. I want to give a shout-out as well to he coached for 44 seasons as a head coach, Jay, and he had 40 winning seasons, including 33 straight at FSU. That is unheard of. Yeah, so absolutely tremendous career for Coach Bowden. He's had awards named after him. He's had, like you mentioned, the Bowden Bowl where he was facing up against his son Terry. So Terry and also Tommy. So that was also just kind of a cool thing that you could, that I'm sure his sons can look back on and just be proud to say, you faced your dad in a few games, and that's just something that's going to stick with you for the rest of your life. Just the bond between y'all, and then like you said, you mentioned. With Marshall, too, that's something I think that a lot of people forget is that Coach Bowden really did help out that program and, got them back to kind of, back to prominence. So that's also great to see as well. But I want to give a shout out to both the 1979 and the 1980 Florida State Seminoles team, which, of course, had a member of our cast on here, Bobby Butler, was a part of both of those teams. In 1979, Jay, they went undefeated the entire regular season. And, for me personally, the big highlight of that year was a 66-17 victory over Memphis State. So that just lets you know that offense was rocking that day. They unfortunately lost the bowl game against Oklahoma, played on January 1st. The Miami Orange Bowl, they lost 7-24. But then also in 1980, they came right back. They had another tremendous season. They only lost one game that year against Miami, and they couldn't get it done. Once again, they just could not get past that Oklahoma hump. But, man, just those two amazing seasons, only having one loss in the regular season, that just lets you know just how in tune the players were with the program, how much they respected Coach Bowden, his philosophies, how he was able to coach a game and direct it and get the victory every single week, seemingly. So I want to give a shout out to that team as well, featuring our guy Bobby Butler, who we hope that he's doing well in this time with his former coach passing away, unfortunately. We hope you're doing good out there, Bobby. We love you, and we hope you're doing good during this time, my man. So again, with Coach Bowden, Jay, just some final thoughts. He was able to do so much, but just in his personal life too. He married his sweetheart, Ann, that in 1949, so they were together for quite a long time. You mentioned, Jay, he had a few kids. He had six children and 21 grandchildren. So the legacy of Bobby Bowden is going to be living for quite a long time. Just a tremendous guy, an amazing head coach. And, I know there's a lot of – we broadcast live out of Atlanta and Georgia, and there's a lot of Florida State fans around here because we're not too far from the stadium. So, you'll see, every probably 30 minutes, you'll see at least a Florida State flag flying somewhere, or at least somewhere nearby. And that just tells you just how dominant Florida State was back in the day and how amazing Coach Bowden was. So, Jay, do you have any final thoughts you want to talk about on the great career of Coach Bobby Bowden?
Yeah, like I said, the guy was just phenomenal. Even, he never forgot a name. That's right. One of the things that people realize about Bobby Bowden. He never forgot a name. Like if he would go to people's living rooms and give his recruiting spiel and this, that, and the other, and then they would make him dinner. He always remembered what was cooked for him, and if he liked it or not. And he would always remember to compliment that, the mom or whatever. And there's those little intangibles that make, like I said, it's more than just a win-loss column, right? It's those little intangibles that really make him who he was. With the Southern charm and the way he talked, and he was very charismatic in the living room. And it was very easy to see why people gravitated towards Bobby Bowden. So absolutely.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Coach Bowden has a great coaching tree as well. There's a bunch of guys who were under him, under guys that he's been with. Just some names like Mark Richt, I'm seeing. You got Kirby Smart, Jimbo Fisher, Manny Diaz, just to name a few. So he has a tremendous impact on the game of college football. Like we said, he was a tremendous head coach, absolutely amazing person as well. And our hearts are going out to the Bowden family right now in this tough time. But we know it's going to be okay in due time. And just a tremendous career, a tremendous life for an amazing head coach, an even better human being. And, Bobby Bowden will surely be missed, but like you say, he will never be forgotten, whether it's his wins, whether it's how his personality was off the field. He's definitely a very charismatic human being, and he will surely be missed here. Everyone at the 100 Yards of Football family and across college football nationwide. Well, if you guys who are watching this video, if you have any comments, any stories that you want to talk about with Coach Bobby Bowden, please drop them in the comments. We'd love to interact with you and talk more about Coach Bowden and the legacy that he had throughout his entire tenure as a coach. Also, if you want to go check out any of the other great Florida State talking about Coach Bowden, talking with former recruits, we had the FSU track team from 1980 on this past week, so you can go check that out as well. So if you want to go check out any other Florida State stuff, please go check out our podcast at 100 Yards of Football. If you want to go check out any of the other videos, our great Legends interviews, of course, with aforementioned alum Bobby Butler. You can check those out. He puts them out every single week. So there's always going to be represent Florida State here on 100 Yards Football, and we're so proud to do that. So, Jay, let's wrap things up here tonight, man. Let's have a great week. And we lost a great one with Coach Bowden, but his legacy will never be forgotten. We are 100 Yards of Football. We will talk to you guys in just a little bit. See you.